Steel and Flame, Book 1 of the Guilds of Avlaan series is available on Amazon. If you like fluffy wolf lolly protagonists and Japanese light novels, follow the link below to check it out.
Hello, Leonardo Cornejo here with another video, and today I want to talk about something that I have been basically thinking about for a while, and that's piracy. First of all, I will bring up when I'm talking about it, there are many instances of piracy software, and that includes books, and that includes video games, that includes music. And there are software resellers who are considered by the IP owners as worse than pirates, and one of them is the developers of Postal 2. These guys running with scissors, they were saying that they would rather have their products pirated than bought by resellers, and I began to think about it because I think the same to some extent. I think that piracy isn't the enemy, that it is pointless to fight pirates, that they will emerge, and that they are actually potential customers. First of all, I would say I consider piracy to be a problem with many causes, but one of the main is distribution. If people can't get your product or don't like the way in which you distribute it, they will pirate your product. For example, if they can't buy your game, they will pirate it. For example, let's say it is forbidden in their country because of some stupid law, they will pirate it. If they can't buy your game or rather say they don't want to buy your game because of DRM, they will pirate it to avoid the DRM. It's a matter of accessibility, it's a matter of not being able to buy it, or of being treated like shit for buying it. Therefore, piracy is a matter of accessibility most of the time. It's a matter of distribution, it's a matter of we are not pleased with with the options we are given to buy your product, so we are not buying. There are many people who would rather pirate a product than buy it in a way they disapprove of. For example, let's say the product is censored and they don't want a censored product. Well, piracy it is. Or the product is protected by DRM. They don't want DRM. Piracy. Most of the pirates don't do it thinking of causing damage to the creators, but rather of not taking damage themselves. They choose piracy because they were not given a better choice, and use it either as a means of protest or as just a way to obtain what they want without the problems that come with it. I will say, I write for profit. My books are available only on Amazon. If you buy prints, let's say paperback or hardcover anywhere else, it's a second hand. I recently updated the manuscript, so a second hand will have the defects, mostly typos. If you buy it digitally in any other place, it's piracy. It's pirated. Don't do that. You can pirate for free. If you are going to if you are going to grab a pirated copy, don't pay for it. Torrent it or something. Don't pay for it. I would prefer if you bought it with me directly. But if you are going to buy piracy, to get a pirated copy, don't pay for it. They are scamming you. Now, if you really like the book, you said, well, that's great. You already pirated it. That's the part where I say you are not an enemy. You are a potential customer. Let's say you like it. Buy it. Recommend it to your friends. Do anything you can to increase my profits. And we are even. A pirate is not a threat. The only ones who cause damage with piracy are the kind of people I already mentioned, who pirate the product and then sell it sell the pirated copy. Actually, I consider them to be plagiarists. Originally, these people did that because they were products that were not sold in their country. In fact, piracy is more common in places where where things were region locked, where things did not arrive. For example, here in Mexico, there was a lot of piracy of American music because the Mexican government got in the way and restricted the access to Mexican music, trying to make sure it wasn't sold at all. They were basically forcing us to consume only Mexican music. So people went to the United States and bought music from foreign bands, and then they began to pirate it. They made pirated copies, and well, physical copies do cost, and they sold them cheaper, in fact. Piracy of anime and manga had a similar situation. Now with the internet you can pirate without buying anything. You don't need to pay. You shouldn't be paying to buy a pirated copy of my book. If you're going to pirate it, do it for free. It's better for your wallet, and if you ever change your mind you can buy in my book instead of wasting your money on a pirated copy. That's where the problem begins. Those who sell piracy online of digital goods, they are not honest people. They are not doing us a favor to anyone. But those who crack DRM, those who distribute censored content uncensored, those who distribute content which did not reach your country, I understand why people pirate. They are not the enemies. There are worse things than piracy, and for example that is resellers. Sometimes they actually engage in something closer to piracy. They sell copies which they shouldn't be selling for whatever reason, and that's a problem. They, for example, sell copies which were given to a magazine or to a store, and they don't belong to them. They are reselling them, and they shouldn't. Those copies weren't meant for to be sold that way. Sometimes they sell expired keys, things like that. They are not honest people. Therefore, people don't like them. There are many other creators who disagree with me, who think piracy is bad, who think, well, piracy is bad for us, but who think piracy should be punished as a crime, who think piracy makes you evil, who think piracy makes you a bad person, who have a more extreme opinion, harsher opinion on piracy than I do. Piracy isn't that bad. Piracy, however, yes, it means you are not paying us and you are enjoying what we made. That's why I strongly suggest, if you liked what we made, buy it. You don't need to buy it immediately. You're free to try it, enjoy it, like a pirate, and then pay. Some say piracy is like eating and living without paying the bill. I will say that's if you don't buy it afterward. If you enjoyed it, buy it. If you enjoyed it and you pirated it, it's like eating the meal before paying, which is normal in many restaurants. Some places ask you to pay up front, some places ask you to pay, some places allow you to pay after ordering and eating, and you go for the bill and that's it, and you leave. It can be that. Piracy can form a symbiotic relationship between the pirate and the seller, and between the pirate and the creator. And the piracy can be a punishment, as I said, for example, for intrusive DRM, for anti-consumer practices, for bad quality, for a censored product. So piracy sometimes isn't that bad. Piracy is bad for the creators in general because we don't profit immediately. But long term it is only bad for the creators who don't earn the love of their audience, I think. I think fighting piracy is entirely futile because of that. I don't think I would prefer if there were no pirates and everyone bought the things, but there are even signs that piracy there are even elements that show that piracy means your product is good enough for people to want to pirate it. Some people, some comic writers in particular, can't even get people to pirate their work. And that proves it's bad. They are mostly left-wing activists, by the way. Do we know who we were talking about? All these Marvel and DC comic book bros. They can't get people to pirate their books, their comic books. Because people don't care. Because people don't want to read that. So why will they pirate them? Now, again, if you can, after you pirate things, buy them. Or at least recommend them to your friends. Become free advertising. Make a review. Tell people to read the book. Tell people to buy it. I would rather have a free advertiser for $3 than pay for advertising. So yeah, if you pirate my book, you don't even need to buy it. Just advertise it. That will balance the costs. That will balance the cost. Just advertise it. As I said, most people are trying to fight piracy and it's a futile endeavor. They will always crack the DRM. I don't put DRM in my books for that reason, unless I forgot to check it out because it's automatically checked in. I hate that. I hate that. It should be optional. It's optional, but it should not be there by default instead of asking you to remove it by default. I don't like DRM. I don't put DRM in my work, and I think if you pirate it, just advertise it. If you really think I feel bad after pirating it, buy it. But don't act as if you were a bad guy. You were not. You were not. I know many people hate Amazon. I know many people don't like Amazon. And I know why. And I understand them and respect them in that regard because, trust me, if I could work elsewhere, I would. If I could work on my own platform and sell by my own means, I would. I really don't like them either. I just have to work with them because that's a necessity. I understand your position. I don't understand why you have that position, and in general that's the problem with big tech. I mean, we are using platforms we don't really like because there is no better option. So I understand why you say I shouldn't be paying Amazon. I understand if you decide to pirate it because of that. Just advertise it, and if you really liked it, you can still buy it. It's still available. It is not. You are not taking money away from us. You're just not paying. You're just not our customer yet. I say yet. That doesn't mean in the future you can't be. But the more aggressive people become with pirates, the worse it is for everyone. Piracy is inevitable. All we can do to defeat it is increasing accessibility, making things cheaper, easier to obtain, available in more markets. That's all we can do. That's all we need to do, as proven by Steam and GOG.com, as proven by Amazon itself. The easier the distribution, the more options you have in distribution, the less piracy becomes relevant. Well, that's it for today. Have a good one.